set, and it's still going to be true that like gamma entails phi. So
So
what
the
about
argument
this
goes off
argument?
on, like,
Yeah,
what's
what
the-
about this argument makes you think that we're like committed to monotonicity theorem?
Yeah, it's just like the premise is to fall in the Aristotelian format. Aristotelian format just goes.
Oh shit! What's the Aristotelian format that we're falling under here?
The Aristotelian argumentation theorem just uses the premises, the conclusion, the syllogism, etc. So it is the case that when you have premises, which are premises,
you don't think that we can like, operate with like premises and a conclusion under some kind of like default reasoning or defeasible reasoning?
So some default reasoning or defeasible reasoning?
Yeah.
I don't think that would be anything that's going to be coherent. You could.
Oh shit! This guy hasn't read the literature.
Okay, so I don't give a fuck about any book you're gonna pull up, my nigga. I can.
Wait, Scribble. Argument wants to raise the probability. So like, we're not saying.
Wait, CH. The reason this guy's extremely confused because he doesn't realize that like when we're talking about monotonicity or non-monotonicity, gamma is just representing a set of premises regardless. Like maybe you're not familiar with the most like used and common argument for non-monotonicity or defeasible reasoning in every single like all of literature. But if you're not, look, like you realize that the Tweety Bird argument uses premises, right?
Okay, so
that's the most common argument for non-monotonicity that we observe in literature.
How about this?
So if you just think that the usage of premises entails monotonicity, retard, then you're gonna have to motivate that premise, right? You're gonna have to motivate that assumption because we don't see why we should accept that. So what's the motivation?
How about this?
What the fuck was that?
How about this? Let's say hypothetically, like, no, actually, no. How about this? It won't even matter. Let's say I grant that it is the case that you can use premises yet it not be like on some monotonic structure, right? So I mean, if what you're saying here is not going to be monotonic, right? I'm saying it's are you saying it's like some default reasoning, some probabilistic. CH said that it's here to raise the probability. I mean, if it's probably true, then it's like it doesn't actually entail it being the case or whatever. That's just like nonsense. Like no one believes it.
That's a fucking idiot. What?
I mean, that's what this nigga just said. The fuck?
You think that rational agents?
Wait, so you're retard?
No, look, we're saying that like probability.
No, hold on.
Wait, look, okay, it's fine. No, it's fine. Scribbled. Do you scribbled?
Conceptual ethics, right?
Can you stop interrupting?
Your teammate a retard.
Can you stop interrupting? Look, scribbled.
Interrupting? I was talking before y'all niggas.
It's the type of thing that like us reach like coordinated.
It warrants acceptance, right? So do you concede at least that our conceptual scheme that we're adopting here?
What's this meat right there in the chat? Oh no, never mind. That's just Vale.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, Vale.
But look, do you concede at least that like we've provided some good reason for adopting our conceptual scheme, or that the reasons we provided actually make our conceptual scheme more probable?
No.
Okay, if you don't concede that, object to one of the premises, dumbass.
I don't even know what. I don't even care for the argumentation structure. And the theory of argumentation itself.
This guy's like an idiot.
I'm an idiot now. But contest the premise. Contesting the premise principle is I entertain the premises. I don't care about contesting the content of the argument, which the form is going off of is going to be the argument.
You don't care about contesting the content of the argument.
You're incoherent because my views is the case that hold things like the abstract theory of argumentation, which there are going to be no premises, no content. It's just going to be so like the conversation that like be scrutinized in some way, such that we have the attack and the acceptability relationship.
This guy like definitely understands Dung's abstract framework. Can you provide like some reason for actually adopting that framework as one of our like understandings of argumentation? And wait. This guy's like talking to a brick wall right now. Just provide the motivation for adopting your argumentation framework. Because we can provide the motivation for ours, dumb fuck.
Yeah, we can do that. But
provide the motivation for premises then.
We just asked you prior to provide the motivation for Dung's abstract framework being used within conversations like these, right? So you're going to do that, and then we're going to provide the motivation for our theory of argumentation.
What do you think motivation is?
What the fuck? I can be agnostic on that.
You mean agnostic? So you have some uncertain attitude towards what's being said, right? And you're going to say, well, provide motivation. But what's in question here is now what is motivation? So you had no understanding or no understanding of what motivation is. Which one may answer the question?
No, I can be agnostic on what motivation is specifically.
You're
and still have some understanding of what doesn't count as motivation, right? So I can have some constraint or some understanding that like something like begging the question doesn't count as motivation. Right? And I can introduce these things because then we're just going to have these impractical consequences, right? And so obviously we want our theories to be pragmatically useful. What's the issue with what?
With non-well-foundedness.
With not what?
Non-well-foundedness.
Non-well-foundedness?
Yes, it just accepts circular. It just accepts like infinitary sequences and circular structures, etc. Like, what's the issue with that? You're saying, oh, is the
Yeah,
case? Well, so the
so
question
if
is,
that's
well,
all you
Q
mean
begging,
by non-well-foundedness,
Q begging would tell that.
then
Huh?
yeah, look, if that's all you mean by non-well-foundedness, then we're obviously going to see that it's not coordinatively successful and it doesn't provide this kind of like pragmatic utility, because
Why?
if we actually assume
Because
this
of
kind of
pragmatics.
reasoning and practice, I'm
I deny all
sorry,
pragmatics.
retard. Oh, you deny all pragmatics?
Presumably, when you say something pragmatically, let's say like we said, let's say how like pragmatically true or pragmatically this, right? We would tend to go off like the agent, right? Let's say we go off like pragmatically, like say like something that's practically impossible, right? Well, something practically possible was something impossible for like an agent. Let's say like a person who was like paralyzed, right? Well, is practically
Look, that's fine. What is a normative framework?
Whoa! I'm not gonna get cut off.
Bro,
That's not gonna happen here. Like,
you're
let's
like
say there's a
speaking
person. Yeah,
unintelligibly,
now I gotta
bro.
meet
You
this
sound
nigga. I'm not gonna
autistic.
like what. Let's say like
I have
so
a
we would
question.
say
When you
it's
say
practically
possible, what
impossible.
modoscope?
Now I gotta meet this nigga too. Let's say that is the case that right. So it would be practically impossible for an agent who is paralyzed to be able to walk, because that would make sense, right? But it is like in some possible world, it is not. There's no contradiction. It's logically possible, etc. But it's a
Oh my
practical possibility.
gosh.
Now we say pragmatically. Let's say we have like pragmatically to the truth, right? Well, a proposition is true if and only if belief in it tends to like what's called maximize the believer's utility, right? All these things depend upon the agent. But what is an agent? See, an agent would imply some kind of, I don't know, like an entity of volition. When entity of volition, where volition and making your own conscious thoughts and decisions, making your own conscious thoughts and decisions would presuppose some kind of like, well, mind in a way. But what is the mind?
Like, this guy's a gibberator.
What is a mind?
Does anyone else want to like engage if there's any
I
atheists here?
just have one question. You said it's possible. What modoscope are you using
You're
to say it's
lagging out.
possible? I'm lagging out.
She vanished. That's amazing.
1 sec. Okay, I think you guys can hear me a bit better. So when you say you say it's possible, oh, did he leave? Never mind.